Hey everyone, meteorologist Alex Williams here with you with a quick weather update. We are, of course, still tracking our weather impact alert day as we go into our Sunday, and not a lot has changed. Maybe a little bit of that rain arriving a little earlier. We're going to look at radar here and satellite in just a bit and kind of spot where our storm is based on comparing that, of course, to the model data. And for the most part, I think everything's on track. No major changes as of 8 o'clock this evening. But nonetheless, let's dive into some of those details for you. So first of all, we'll start off with some current temperatures on there for you. How about mid 40s, lower 40s? Let me take this off so you can see the quad cam there. So mid 40s in Greensboro, 43, Winston-Salem, High Point, 42, 42 in Burlington. So pretty mild overall. And that's kind of one of the problems as we go through this event is we're going to be fairly mild. And temperatures elsewhere in the upper 30s, lower 40s. You see Lexington just jumped to 46 degrees there in Davidson County. So yes, we are going to be dealing with warm air present, and that's not a good thing when we're trying to track snow chances, right? And warm air kind of not allows the snow to either form or make it all the way to the ground, or if it hits the ground and the ground's warm, then it melts. And so those are all issues that we could face with some of those warmer temperatures. Temperatures will be dropping. The question is, does the cold catch the precipitation before it leaves? And so that's what remains to be seen. I do think it does catch it, but keep your snow expectations low, as we've been telling you all week. This is not going to be a high impact event. This is going to be a low impact event, and keep your expectations low as far as the amounts go. So that's kind of what we're looking at. I want to show you the temperatures though. If you look towards the beaches, you can see the mid 50s across the Carolinas. Meanwhile, if I zoom it out, look at some of these cold temperatures. There's definitely a dividing line or a front present here, a second one. So we had the primary one push through today, right? So it's kind of hanging out here. So that low most likely is going to track right along the boundary as it forms and moves to the north and east this evening. Now, here's the current temperatures. You can see 3 degrees, 10 degrees, 9 degrees. So there's probably another front hidden in here. And that's the front that needs to catch the precipitation before it departs if you want snow. If you don't want snow, then you want the precipitation to outrun the cold air and the cold air not to catch it. I do think we see a brief transition. What time is that? Some models have it very, very early. I think most of the consensus of models keeps it towards the kind of mid-morning, late morning time frame. And so that keeps our snow totals modest from that trace to half an inch like we've been thinking really through much of the last couple of days. So the temperature trend, it's going down for real, right? Those temperatures are at least. So you can see as we go into the morning hours, we're going to be hovering maybe by the time we wake up in the upper 30s. We're going to fall to the mid 30s, maybe around 34 as we go towards the early afternoon hours there. And so, yeah, you'll see those temperatures at midnight, mid 40s, mid 30s. It's almost a 10 degrees temperature drop. So, yeah, the cold air will come. It will be present. But the question is, does the precipitation catch, or does the precipitation long enough around that we start to see that? You see this particular graphic here showing some of the model data on it. It does have snow by 8 o'clock. So that is interesting. I think that's that kind of mid-morning, maybe between 8 to 10 o'clock is where the consensus of our in-house model is. But rain, it's probably going to start sooner than you think. You can see even 8 o'clock. We're starting to see some of those scattered showers. So those are only going to increase as we go through the really evening hours into the overnight. And so that precipitation is available. And so since it's coming in early, does the cold air have time to catch it? I think we do, again, see that transition. You can see that Sunday morning through the afternoon, kind of midnight, I would say tonight, through about midday tomorrow is what we're looking at for that weather impact. And the biggest impacts are going to be that rain transitioning over to that wet snow, maybe some light amounts on the ground. And then I think the other thing we're going to have to watch out for is the refreezing on roadways. So as we go through our Sunday, temperatures dropping. Notice the precipitation does cut off by the early afternoon, so it's out of here before the temperatures really drop as we see some of that cold air filter in with those clear skies tomorrow night. And I think that, again, could be an issue that we'll have to watch closely. Relative humidity, so this is, of course, kind of a measure of how much moisture is in the air. Not exact, but it gives you an idea. We're starting to saturate, right? Look towards Statesville, 83% relative humidity. As we start getting those closer to 100%, we'll start to see probably some of this precipitation reach the ground, because right now it's fairly light. So you can actually see here, this is our live radar, that we're looking at this kind of scattering of showers, say from parts of the northeast there up near Reedsville down towards Greensboro, so Guilford County and into Randolph County, Davidson County, seeing some of those light showers, light returns on precip on a radar. Now again, that doesn't mean ground truth, and when I just checked observations at the airport sites, none of them are reporting precipitation right now, so that tells me it's still dry enough into mid-levels, or at least at the surface, that we're still overcoming that dry air. And so eventually we will saturate all the way down to the surface, and we will start to see that rain fall as we go through the overnight hours. Where is the rain right now? Well, it's really underneath me, right? So let me turn off my picture there. So satellite and radar showing some of those scattered returns right now. The better bulk of precipitation and moisture still streaming in from the south and west, and that'll continue as we go through the evening hours. And so precipitation could become moderately heavy at times. We'll just have to watch how much of this precipitation moves through. It does look wetter. It is trending wetter than it was. So the dry air that we were worried about, not so much an issue anymore. We will see the rain probably start sooner rather than later. So maybe if you're doing some things late tonight, grab the umbrella, keep it with you, and then you'll need it as you go into the morning hours tomorrow. There's your snow chances. Our forecast right now still sitting at a trace to about half an inch, best estimate. And so the next likely scenario is going to be the bust, where it rains the whole time. We don't get the cold air to catch, and the precip departs before we see the cold air take over. That's second most likely. Least likely is going to be that half an inch up to 2 inches. That is the high end totals. And if anything, we would need that precipitation to change over to snow very quickly in the morning hours, and to even get close to that amount. Because even if it does snow for several hours tomorrow, it's going to be hard to get that accumulate. It's just hard to get snow to accumulate during the daylight hours. Of course, we have a warmer ground. We have sunshine. Even though it may not be all the way through the clouds, it doesn't make it easy for snow to accumulate, especially with temperatures above freezing, as we will be as we go into the day tomorrow, at least until tomorrow night when those skies clear out. So that's kind of what we're looking at. And again, generally, flakes to about half an inch. So a trace of snow to about half an inch, and you can see the dividing line there kind of runs right up through the triad. So that it does include Forsyth County. It kind of cuts there through Surrey, Stokes, or at least into Stokes County, kind of cut in half. Now, take that with a grain of salt, right? It just depends on, do we see that cold air faster? The reason why not as much snow for the foothills versus, say, the triad is because of the positioning of the system. It's a coastal low versus something that might be a little bit more northwest flow driven coming up over the mountains. We're just not dealing with that with this case. It's a very different system. And if you see accumulation, it'll be on those grassy, elevated surfaces. We are not expecting any major impacts to area roads. So in summary here, kind of breaking down what you can expect, we're looking at a trace to about half an inch of snow on those grassy, elevated surfaces. Then after that happens, if the roads are sopping wet, whether it rains all day, whether we get that transition to snow, if the roads are still wet as we go into tomorrow night and we clear those skies out, those temperatures are dropping into the 20s, low 20s. So below freezing, that will allow for refreezing of some slick spots into our Sunday night into Monday morning. So if you're going out, thankfully it's MLK Day, right? So if you're going out for parades, if you're going out for different observances, if you're just going out of the house in general, maybe to go see the monks coming into the triad, it's going to be cold. But as far as, impacts go, not anything falling from the sky, but we're worried about those icy patches. So we'll have to watch that very carefully as we go into our Monday. No wind advisors. I do want to show you this, though. So we've showed you the graphic here of those probabilities of receiving 1 inch of snow. with, from the Weather Prediction Center. I want to show you, remember it went down at one point to 1%, right? So we've actually bumped those totals up of seeing snow within 24 hours. We're looking at about sitting around a 30% range there. And again, that's going to be like if everything changes over and it overperforms, that's where you see maybe upwards to an inch. Don't bet on it. Keep your expectations low. Again, I think more trace to half an inch as far as some of that snowfall coming through tomorrow, just because of the setup, because we have the warm air, because it's happening during the day. All of those not beneficial, not helping us, at least trying to get some of that snow to get to the ground and to stick. But I did want to show you that those had gone up as far as those precipitation chances. So over the next couple of hours, you will expect to see the snow basically increase. And I don't know if I showed you this, but we'll show you this radar. I don't think I showed you radar at all, which that's my apologies. So here's the Futurecast for you. Notice we are at 1050, right? And we're showing precip moving in, which would make sense because we're already starting to see it kind of move in already, so to speak. Not quite to the ground yet, but the moisture is being present in those mid-levels. So that'll eventually start reaching it to the ground as we go through the overnight. Moderately heavy rain will be possible, and some of this, it's going to be a cold rain, right? Temperatures in the 40s, and it's raining. Now watch here as we go through the morning hours. As that first batch comes through, it's just going to be too warm. We don't have the cold air catching us by 6 o'clock, according to this model, right? Some models start to transition it over as the cold air catches it quicker. But watch here, we're going to get a resurgence of some moisture here from the system as that area of low pressure starts to track closer to the area. And when we're bringing into precip now, we're starting to see at least the potential for some of that wintry precipitation kind of cutting right up through the triad there and then quickly departing. So by the time we head to tomorrow night, things will be a lot quieter and a lot colder as well, which is why there's the concern there for the refreezing. So there's your 7-day forecast. We are going to see that rain to snow transition. Temperatures when you wake up probably in the upper 30s, falling to the mid 30s through the afternoon, and then we're falling to low 20s overnight Sunday into Monday. Some icy patches possible on Monday. Mid 40s though, weather improves pretty quickly as we go through the Monday time frame, and then very cold as we go towards next week. Maybe a little bit of some precipitation to Thursday, and maybe a better system, another system watching into next weekend. So that's kind of what we've got going on as far as the weather is concerned. Impacts, again, expect to be minimal, maybe trace to half an inch, maybe a bust, depending on how fast that cold air catches the precipitation. We'll continue to keep you updated through the evening hours, and of course you can tune in at 11. We'll have the latest forecast, and I will continue to let you know on our website as well if things change. Have a great rest of your evening, and stay safe out there.